This is a tips and tricks video, okay? So I guess let's start with sensitivity. This is serious business, okay? Oh, I just play for fun. No. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Get some help. There's no way, okay? If you play the game for fun, you at least have to win some games, okay? You have to win some games. Okay? So first, let's start with sensitivity. So it should be common knowledge that fixed speed is the most consistent. Whether your phone is wet, overheating, and a couple other factors, it should be the most consistent option. Now, I would say, let's start out with the camera sensitivity. Wait, no, the staring sensitivity. This option has to be, let's say, this is your aiming area, right? Area where you aim at. You should be able to do a 360. Okay, about a 360. Mine isn't exact, it's a bit inconsistent, but you should be able to do about a 360 in this region. And after that, for me personally, I double this because this doesn't really matter to me. I guess I can always slow down the pace of how I turn, or I could go as fast as possible. I feel like these sensitivities don't really matter. You're always gonna, I guess the higher you put it, you don't need to, what I'm saying, right? You don't need to do a whole 360. Although a 180 isn't too bad. I put it to the max because I can handle that. You might not be able to handle that. So you might need to lower it a bit. But I can handle that. Especially with what? I set this to 120. You could make it higher, but I would recommend using the default for now. Especially if you want to do this really quickly. So these are like the free scopes I use. I don't even use tactical scope. I use the normal red dot or the iron sights. And basically this is double of my staring sensitivity. And then sniper, I don't use these scopes, but if I did use them, they would probably be on my sniper. So sniper is the same as this, right? Staring, normal staring sensitivity. And half of these two, well, these three, that's what I have mine as. Now, it may not work for everyone. It may not work for everyone, but, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And for shooting, firing sensitivity, I have it at the same, you know. You have to either be consistent, or I guess if you want more precision, you can do tiny tweaks. Like put them like 10 underneath each one. But I don't think that's necessary. Damn. Oh yeah, if you struggle with vertical recoil, one thing I would say to do is go to vertical sensitivity. I have it the same as the normal staring sensitivity. It might be too strong starting off with 150, so try 110. I started off with 110, but you could just have it like mine. It's the same as the normal staring sensitivity, and I'm pretty sure it negates most recoil guns. If I look up a high recoil gun, okay, I don't have one like the Fennec or VMP, but I have this. You can very easily hold it down. And also, I've probably gone on to other things, but this still goes under sensitivity. Learn the recoil patterns of your guns. the guns you use the most, learn the recoil patterns. And a good way to do that is, well, let's say you're using buttons to aim. Turn off the aiming settings for these buttons. Okay, so ADS button for rotation and R fire button rotation. You can turn them off. So these won't aim your screen. Now, they don't aim my screen because I use, what is this? Left control. And I have the fixed virtual joystick and left control. So any place I touch on the left side of my screen controls my joystick. So that's why these don't aim even when I had them on. They don't affect my aim. But if they're on this side of the screen, they will affect your aim. So this and then the R fire button. I have the R fire button hidden. So yeah, I use a secondary fire button that's normally located on this part of the screen. You don't have to, but this is me as a player that I am. That's what I use. Your recoil. Yeah. Recoil patterns are the guns you mostly use. Some of them you can adapt, I guess, to them. But even in the pre-game lobby, test out the recoil patterns of the guns you're going to use. All you have to do is turn off rotations on buttons so they don't affect your aiming, and if you do use them to aim, probably turn them on after. I don't really need them. Now, you can have individual, settings for this, but this is what I figured out was the best for me personally. So you have to find your threshold. I use the default ADS while opening, switch the sensitivities while opening ADS. You can probably mess around with the others, but this is what I use. And this, I turn this off. I don't have good aim when I use this. It feels weird when I use this. It feels like it's skipping. Like, you don't have precision with this. It like skips a couple pixels. That's just me. You can mess around with it. It might help you. Especially if you have like a big screen device, it might probably help you. And if you need more sensitivity and you already have this at max, you can always go to this and increase it. Or, like I said, I use fix because it's the most consistent, but you can always dabble into the other ones. Speed acceleration. I guess the acceleration is based on how fast you move your finger. And then distance acceleration is, I guess, the further you move, the more the sensitivity goes up, which is interesting. Let's go over to the HUD. I believe in MP, in this training room, you can't be AFK for more than 30 seconds, I guess, so I gotta leave. Okay, controls. So, I guess let me reset my controls. Which POV would I say? Okay, I would say two finger players, I guess, need this the most. So I will go to two fingers. Now, let me, get in tune with my inner two finger player.
Training mode.
I cannot use two finger players. Two fingers nowadays. Does my sensitivity work? It feels kind of strong. My sensitivity feels kind of strong. Let me try this. I am cheating, but hold on. Yeah, my sensitivity does seem kind of strong when you're using the one-tap ADS button. But two fingers, you're really not going to go too far when using this. You're gonna struggle in this game, both in MP and BR. I would say that it's time to change this HUD. Now, when you change your HUD, it's based on what you need. Okay, the needs. What do you need? So, for MP, I would imagine you probably got used to this. If you haven't, then good luck. Well, you probably should, move everything up. Maybe turn off the rotation, so you'll be aiming up down here and then pressing each individual button you need to with your index finger. Yes. Probably do some exercises where you hold your phone with your other fingers and have like 4 fingers where you're able to hit the screen. It is a bit hard when you just start. You might cramp a bit. But as you can see, I'm 5 fingers on phone. So I got used to that. The cramps stop after like a couple days, maybe a week of playing. The cramps stop. But it's worth it. The cramps is worth it. I would say move every piece of thing you're not gonna use really in MP. Most of these buttons you're not gonna use. These are the important buttons. This maybe not, to be honest. But these are the important buttons. Now in MP, I would say you need to be able to pre-aim. Now you would probably use this wherever you had this. I would put this on top of it and replace it with this. This is for you to be able to pre-aim, and you won't be firing as soon as you see your enemies, pretty much. Or you won't wait till you see your enemies to fire. You can do what is called pre-aiming. Let me create a tiny HUD, I guess. This I can hide. You can hide this. Wait, no. Actually, use this. For this type of HUD, use this. You won't need this, but use this. What you need to do is put it on hipfire. I guess that's optional. And also our fire button. I would say use hipfire because you will need to hipfire in situations, and you're gonna use this like how you would use this, and then add this on top for extra effect, right? So this is gonna be scuffed for a bit. I would say, okay, so movement, the sliding, the jumping, your weapon switch, and then you can have reload somewhere near. And this, you're gonna shoot with this, and obviously your movement, and then this can be anywhere. Basically what you're doing is you're clearing out the aiming place, the place where you aim. It will improve your aim, especially when you have less to do with your thumb. I would imagine you would be aiming with your thumb. If you aim with your index, probably do the opposite or the reverse of what I'm doing. Instead of putting everything up, put everything down. I'm gonna keep this because in MP you need to pre-aim. So as much, I guess you technically don't have to. If your aim is still bad after doing this, and you've gotten used to not using this, you could use this instead. I guess you can turn on one tap ADS. And you could basically do this. It does improve your aim. Now you can't do what I would do with my 5 fingers, which is while you're aiming down and shooting, you'd be able to jump and drop shot. But you just came from 2 fingers. I don't think you're gonna pretty much want this. All you need to do, I guess, is do one side strafes. So keep going to the left or keep going to the right. And that should be enough. Just focus on aim if you can't do the movements. Or, I guess, you could do this. You could pause while shooting, but that's risky. But it does make you harder to hit when you do these movements. Especially jumping. So maybe it's worth it pausing the shooting to do some jumps once in a while. But you have to be quick with it. As a two-finger player, I think you are probably used to doing this. And hip fire, you need a hip fire more. So use hip fire. At close range, use this to pre-aim corners, you know. Let's say an enemy is, you know, arriving. You can pre-aim if you're a camper, or you could do this. Basically to be ready to shoot your enemy. Especially if they're far away. If they're close, I guess you can hip fire, but even this is probably too long to do hip fire. Although it does work with this weapon. This specific weapon, I guess, probably has very good hip fire accuracy. I actually didn't notice. I might be getting lucky with the hip fire accuracy spread, but it's possible. It is possible. And if you really want to go after aim, and you don't want to aim with this, like your aim is still bad, I would recommend using both fire buttons, right? Somehow find a way to fit them together. Have one with ADS on, and I guess, hold on. Fun fact, right? This setting, it also works with this. So this has its own setting, the R fire button for rotation, and then this has the same as this. I don't know why, but they have the same rotation setting. So watch me turn this off, and then you can't aim with both of these. This has the R fire button rotation, and then ADS button for rotation for the left fire button, and then obviously the ADS button. You can do something like this, where with your index you're doing all of this, and then you just have one dedicated aiming button. So your aim will be on point, while you have a dedicated aiming, and then everything else you have your index finger doing. Now if that's too much, I guess, right, what you can do is you can have buttons like this. I guess maybe the grenades. And I guess this is just extra. Oh yeah, most people don't have this on. You probably don't want this on as a two-finger or three-finger player. You can go back to tap ADS. Another tip, I guess, is onto FOV. FOV isn't really, well, it is important if you want to be an aggressive player. According to your playstyle. I have it at max, and my synth ADS is only for the aggressive weapons, and then snipers, I turn it off for snipers. So I can see, I don't really see that far, which will, you know, well, I see far very tiny because of my settings, but I can still kind of shoot from afar. You might not want to have them this far apart, and the ADS settings are pretty self-explanatory. I thought I chose the sniper loadout. Pretty self-explanatory. Oh no. As a sniper, it's okay. This is, with this loadout, you probably can't snipe. You would have to do this to snipe. Yeah, or you could do the old thing I said to do, which is use this as how you would use this when you just started playing, and then put this on. What is it? Where is it? ADS button for rotation, and then probably turn this to hip fire, and probably hide this so you don't accidentally press it. And I guess you can turn into a sniper guy now. Oh, I still have it on. Also, yeah, this. So there's options to this COD mobile thing. You don't have to have the same settings as everyone. You can add your own little twist. This is probably a yap session, so I'm gonna have to cut out a bunch. Or cut out nothing at all. You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're enjoying this, aren't you? Right? You're enjoying this? Yes. Is my skin not downloaded, or is this the skin I have? Like, I probably just have this skin. What other tips and tricks can I give from my playbook? I guess when you realize what these things do, you can, add them in as extras or whatnot. This, I don't know how people, use their joystick and then stop mid-fight to press the score streaks. I guess you can find a corner to use your score streaks. Me personally, I just put them on this side of the screen. As you can see from my other settings. Okay. Should I give any 4-finger recommendations? With 4 fingers, I guess what you can do is you can keep these movement things and then have this massive. You know what else is okay, no. Low taper. Okay. Oh, no. Lock in. What you can do is, I just thought of an idea, but this is what my first 4-finger settings looked like. Now, I did tweak the size, but for now, I guess I'm keeping them like that. I'm not really gonna use this much. I guess I can probably show some gameplay of it. It is kind of rough using this, so I guess now, since you're going to 4 fingers, you can. This is a suggestion. Probably turn off the aiming on this. Turn off ADS button for rotation. Where's the ADS? Okay, ADS button for rotation. This is a 4-finger loadout. I would recommend also hip fire for this. I think that's what most players use. You can use tap, but you need to have really good aim to tap with snipers. And this is what it looks like with regular guns. I guess you probably want to play around with this. Probably make it smaller or bigger according to your preferences. And here are my sprint, if your thumb moves way too fast, then I guess try AT. This is just like me. Make sure you have this off, yeah. And you can do this. Now, I do find myself crouching, so I would probably put it to 90. It's kind of annoying how they have this setting. You have to turn this on, then turn it off. And here you go. You can sprint around with dead silence being very you make no noise with dead silence. When you're sprinting, it does make noise, but it's lowered. But when you use dead silence, walking makes 0 sound. But that's for like high class lobbies. You're probably not into that as yet. And if you feel like it's a bit of an inconvenience that you can't jump and aim at the same time, what you could do is go back to the normal or the basics, and you can basically tap and do this. You can still... Whoa, wait, hold on. This is actually overpowered. In snipers it might affect you, but if you're not a sniper player, maybe use tap. Me personally, I play with 5 fingers, so I use tap and hold, but tap might not be bad. Yeah, you can still move around. You can drop shot if you want to. Yeah, it's a bit scuffed for me for some reason. I guess it's my muscle memory working against this. But yeah, this is a 4-finger setup. Now, you could also, if you don't want to, well, pre-aiming is very useful in MP, but if you're not that type of player and you want to start shooting when you see your enemy, or start aiming when you see your enemy, you could try doing this where... Wait, hold on. You turn this into ADS. And some ADS, when you just start using ADS, it might have a delay. If your ADS has a delay, turn this on, so it fires as soon as you use the one-tap ADS fire button, or the right fire button. R fire button, right fire button, ADS fire button. So you basically get this, the thing of this and this at the same time. But it's like with the tap and hold setting. And then I guess if you need to, at close range, if someone is close to you, you can hip fire. Hip firing is very interesting. So I would say from here, hip fire. From here, I guess you can get away with it. But anything like too far away, it's risky. So you probably want to do this, but if they're close to you, you can hip fire. But you won't be able to pre-aim unless you put this a bit closer. Then you can pre-aim, but I would recommend having a consistent way of pre-aiming. For MP, of course. For BR, you probably don't need that for BR. Should I create a BR? I'm gonna create a BR settings for this. Hold on. I guess we're on to BR. This recording is 30 minutes. I guess I'm not really gonna edit this because I could not be bothered. I'm sorry. You gotta skip a couple, I guess. So BR. I'm going to go to this to then, I guess I should probably reset everything. Should I? This looks kind of fine. Hold on. Okay, this looks interesting. I guess put this where your weapon switch button was, but be careful. BR switching and MP switching is two different things, so you might struggle. And this, you might want to make this smaller if it obstructs your HUD. You might want to make it a bit smaller if it obstructs your HUD. How small did I? Okay, 70. Okay, let me try 80. I guess 80 as well. It does obstruct a bit, but no, that's fine. It obstructs one of these, but that's fine. And I guess you'll also have these to deal with. It's very interesting. The differences between MP is mainly the settings. So I guess let's go to the MP BR match. You don't really need to pre-aim in MPs BR, because you can kind of push. It's a mainly aggressive gameplay. That's my experience from BR. Pre-aiming might make you seem like a bad player in BR and give your enemies more confidence to push you. I don't think this synced well. Oh yeah, there might be some information. Now I put my map here because this is where I am going to be aiming. But it might be a bit risky doing that, according to your playstyle. So I guess this is information. If your fire button is over, information bits of BR, you can just put down the capacity. Since it's so big, there's no way you miss it. Just in case you miss it, put this at like 10% opacity, just so you can just about see it, right? And I would recommend doing is this. You only get it when you're closely behind your enemy. I guess I would put it here. Wherever you're ADSing, either here or here, I would put it over it, because I normally hip fire people who are knocked down, and this is pretty much when you're gonna get the opportunity to execute. And this is this. I guess I could share the code, but you really should do this yourself. Get your own sense of your needs in BR, what you need. Hipfire is a big thing. I feel like the hipfire accuracy is a bit stronger in BR because of the third person. Oh, I forgot to tweak my settings. So I have to turn this off, and I guess this can stay on since it's on the left side of the screen. But yeah. Hipfire is a big thing, and pre-aiming isn't really a big thing in BR. But if you want to pre-aim, I guess you can try doing the thing I showed in MP. BR settings and MP settings are different, well, separated. So you might need to tweak them at separate times. To copy your MP sensitivity, I would guess, to BR or BR to vice versa, right? You have to go to current game mode, right? Well, the game mode you want to copy it from. I would say sensitivity, right? I would go copy, okay, from current game mode to BR, okay? You can do it to other game modes, I guess, if you want to switch, but that's what I do. And BR, if you play third person has its own sensitivity. So I would recommend probably put it the same as the normal staring sensitivity, but it might be a bit weird. So you have to find that on your own. I trust you. You could try the 160 thing. It did not work. Okay, I might need to make it a bit stronger. Or I mean, you would want to be able to do 180s and 360s in third person. So this might need to be a bit stronger. I would imagine I would bring it up a little bit. Let me try 200. 200 is probably way too strong, but it's a benchmark, I guess. We're going by 50s, okay? Slowly but surely. Okay, that's way more than a 360. Yeah, that's way more than a 360. This is kind of what you have to do. I guess do the normal one first, and then you can think about the firing one. Let me try this. I aim at this. I turn around. It's a bit too strong. Hold on. I think I found it. 75. If it's not 75, then it's probably 70 or 60. I don't know why this is set to 50. I guess it bugged out. Or I've been changing the wrong setting this whole time. Okay, 175 seems legit. So, I guess I could add tips to this, but to be honest, you kind of want to hip fire with shotguns, but I believe there's a damage, like it increases the damage if you're able to ADS. If you already tapped ADS somewhere, you could use the left fire button, which is on, well, the right fire button, the R fire button. Let me call it the R fire button. Since it's on the left now, it's kind of weird calling it the right fire button. So I'd say the R fire button. It won't ADS. This is how it works by itself. This is how the other one works with hip fire. And if you want to like do a quick scope, I guess you can tap this and do this. Now I don't use tap. So what I use is this. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this is way smoother. It's said that it does more damage. Let me see if I can test it out. Because my camera keeps aiming down. I'm not sure why. It's probably the vertical sensitivity might need to be changed. Might need to be lowered. Especially when you're not shooting. This is for BR. I'm not felt like in third person it was too strong or something. In BR though, I would focus more on aim than movement. Now obviously there are gonna be people sliding around, but I feel like aim really matters in BR. In MP, the time to kill is really fast, so all you basically have to do is pre-aim and then kill your enemy very quickly. Your enemies die really quickly. But in BR, you have to track your enemies down as they're moving. You have to track your enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much every tip you might need, really. I mean, use aim assist. Don't let anyone shame you about aim assist. Use your aim assist. It helps out. I guess at sniping it doesn't really do much. And this is supposed to be maxed. I don't know why it was like that. Oh yeah. One difference is you want to use either 100% or always sprint. Because you're not really gonna be sounding or being quiet And one button, one thing, put your damage on. And then automated repair is based on your playstyle. I have it off. And med recommendation, I have it off. And I have auto use. Auto use allows you to... This is where your meds would be. If you swipe up... Wait, hold on. I can show you. Consumables. If I have... Let's say, okay. Two of these. And then two of these, right? You can do this. And auto use basically uses it as soon as you equipped it. And I guess you can use med recommendation if you are like this, but if you want to have this out and use it. So basically you can't sprint when using this, so I hate to use it. So I always have this showing, but I guess you can have this showing, and then all you have to do is do this, swipe up. But the swiping up never works. It doesn't work as much. So if you're in a sticky situation, you need to move around and not take damage. I guess you can have auto use on, so you can select it and use it as soon as it's selected. Or just turn off med recommendation. That's kind of what I do. I use these before battle, and then during battle I use these so I can move around while they're shooting me. And it obviously fills your health bar. This is one at a time. This fills your health bar. And, well, it doesn't give you kinetic. This gives you kinetic. I would normally do this before battle, and then during battle use the blue plate, because I can move during, you know, all the chaos. I'm gonna make this an hour long. There's some more tips. This is based on your preference. As a beginner, probably keep this on. Quick run from prone, obviously. Oh, favorited. Oh, I favorited it. Auto expand. This makes you fall instead of expanding your parachute. Now, it's according to your playstyle. If you want to jump from buildings to buildings, you might need this. If you want to jump down, like let's say you're at the platform, if you know, and you want to jump down really quickly, and you don't want your parachute to open, slowing you down, you can just jump straight down when this is off, and then manually press. If you don't want to take damage, fall damage, which fall damage is not really a thing in this game, so you can afford to fall from large heights with this thing, but just in case, you can just press the jump button and it will open your parachute. Okay. Teammate perspective, you see where your teammates are from your view. Slide hint, probably turn that on. I mean, you don't need it, but it tells you when you're able to slide, I guess. Automated armor repair, I don't have it on, because as soon as I use, I'm fully, like, almost fully healed. I tend to just use my gun, but basically it waits until you're fully healed to stop using the meds, so it might have you trapped. So I have it personally off. I just turned it on to, you know, as an example. This, turn this off. It is terrible. It doesn't make you climb for some reason. I'm not sure if it's bugged. Whenever you try to climb, you won't be able to climb. And climbing in this game is kind of like a double jump. You jump, and then you jump again mid-air as you're about to climb. This, test it out. It doesn't really... well, I don't use it. It's not really my style. Turn these on, please. Turn these on. Some people, they don't have this, and it's like visual sound. If you search up visual sound, this is what this is, but for COD Mobile. And then this is up to you. Um this probably turn this on. Auto lean is a new feature, it's up to you. And execution obviously is, I don't have this one. Where's the execution settings? I guess it's nowhere to be seen. Oh yeah, you can customize what you pick up, and then the mods for each gun. So for assault rifle, I have extended mag, long range, and ADS, fast ADS. Sniper, I have fast ADS, sniper expert, sniper extended mag. LMG is precise shot, vertical, and fast ADS. Vertical recoil control and fast ADS. And then SMG is hipfire, precise shot, vertical recoil, which I guess, an extended mag. I probably wouldn't use this though. I don't know why it was on. And yeah, so you can customize which guns. For shotguns, I would say put long range, long barrel, long range, and fast ADS. That's where the aggressive gameplay, I guess. Most of y'all probably wouldn't use this, and that's pretty much it. There's a couple other tips I can give, like useful grenades. I don't think Nova Gas. I haven't used Nova Gas in a while, and every time I use it, the enemy just dodges it. But if you're in a sticky situation, well, you want your enemies to be in a sticky situation, you can use it. It will force them to move. I normally have these free grenades are able to be picked up. And then, yeah, this is my meds or plates, whatever you call them, setting. And then gun kick. Turn this off. This is, it just makes the recoil, the visual recoil worse. Turn this off. And execute, yeah. This is about it, really. Shotguns, do not aim for the head like you would with normal guns, or for the chest area. For some reason, aim for the crotch area, and it does like more damage. Or just the torso. Either the crotch area or the torso. I feel like the torso is easier. And also, stop moving to use the shotgun. Like, you can slide, but stop moving to do that extra damage. It's kind of weird. And these bots aren't really a representative of a player with full health, because they only have like 200 HP. You know, use my regular settings. As you can see, I cleared this place so I can focus on aim a bit more. Even my meds are up here. My armor is full, so I can't really show you how I use the meds, but it's pretty much the same way. You swipe up, blue plate, swipe to the left, swipe to the right. And this is pretty much an hour long. This kind of feels like a live stream, but without a chat. What's good, chat? What's good, chat? Yeah, these are my settings. I use tap and hold, and it's a 5-finger setup. So a lot of people do use 5 and 6 fingers, even on phone, but it's like niche. You won't find them. You might find them in the wild. They might kill you.